Back in 1995, the United Kingdom was still using the round £1 coins, long before the new 12-sided design we use today. These old round pounds were part of British life for over 3 decades, and each year a different design represented one part of the UK. In 1995, it was Wales's turn, and the coin showed the bold Welsh dragon designed by artist Norman Silman. Around the edge of the coin was the Welsh motto, Pleidiol Wif I'm glad, which means, true am I to my country. On the other side of the coin was Queen Elizabeth II, with her third portrait created by Raphael Maclauff. These coins were made from nickel brass, giving them a gold-like color, and they were small but strong. When they were made, around 34 million of these coins entered circulation. That's a big number, so at first glance, you might think, how could something so common ever be rare? Most of these coins were used daily and got scratched, worn, or dirty, but some were made differently. There were a few special editions that never went into circulation. Proof coins, silver coins, and even double-thickness, pied fort, coins that were created just for collectors. These versions were made in very small numbers, and they are the ones that could be worth hundreds or even thousands of pounds today. Let's break it down simply. The normal 1995 £1 coin that you might find in old change is usually worth about £1 to £3 depending on its condition. But the silver-proof version or the pied fort version, those are where the big money can come in. The pied fort coin is extra thick, made from 0.925 sterling silver, and only about 8,500 of them were made. That's less than 1 in 4,000 of the normal coins. If you have one of those sitting in a case, still shiny and untouched, you could be holding a coin worth hundreds of pounds, maybe more if it's in perfect condition. Collectors love these limited editions because they look stunning and they were made to a higher quality than normal coins. Now, the truly rare ones are the error coins. Sometimes when coins are made at the mint, things go wrong. The coin might be struck off-center, have double lettering, or even be made from the wrong metal. These minting errors are extremely valuable because they're one of a kind. Imagine finding a 1995 £1 coin that looks silver instead of gold, or the writing around the edge is upside down. That could easily sell for hundreds or even thousands of pounds depending on how unique the error is. Mistakes like that are what collectors dream of finding, but before you get too excited, it's important to know that most 1995 £1 coins are not rare at all. The majority are still only worth their face value, especially if they are scratched, dirty, or worn from years of use. However, the excitement of checking your coins is still worth it because you never know when you might stumble upon something special. The difference between a common coin and a valuable one can be as simple as a small minting detail or a rare edition that looks just a little different. To check if your coin might be special, pick it up and look closely. First, make sure it says 1995 under the Queen's portrait. Then, flip it over and check for the dragon design and the Welsh motto around the edge. Hold it under good light and look at the shine. Does it look brand new, like it's never been touched? If it does, you could have an uncirculated coin worth more than a normal one. If it's silver in color, heavier, or thicker than usual, you might have a proof or pied fort version. Those are the ones collectors pay big money for, especially if they come in a box or with a certificate from the Royal Mint. Condition plays a big role in value. Coins that are shiny and free from scratches or marks are called mint state or uncirculated. These can be worth many times more than the same coin that's been used for years. Even tiny details matter. Fingerprints or cleaning marks can lower the value, so if you think you have a good one, don't clean it. Keep it in a case or a soft cloth to protect it. It's also worth knowing that the old round £1 coins were taken out of circulation in 2017 when the new 12-sided coins were introduced. That means you can't spend them in shops anymore, but collectors still love them, and some older designs are getting harder to find in perfect condition. Every year that passes, fewer good examples exist, so even common coins might slowly rise in value over time. One important tip is to be careful with online listings. If you look on auction sites like eBay, you'll find sellers asking thousands of pounds for a 1995 £1 coin. But many of those are just hoping to catch an unsuspecting buyer. Always check completed sales to see what people actually paid, not just what sellers are asking. If you ever find a coin you think might be special, take it to a coin shop or a professional valuer who can tell you its real worth. Even though most 1995 coins won't make you rich, the fun is in the hunt. Every collector starts with one simple coin and a question: could this be the one? And who knows, maybe the next person to find a rare pied fort or an error coin could make hundreds or even thousands from something that once sat forgotten in an old purse. The 1995 £1 coin represents a piece of Welsh pride, a slice of British history, and maybe, just maybe, a hidden treasure waiting to be discovered. The year 1971 was a huge turning point for British money. Before that year, the UK used the old system of pounds, shillings, and pence, which was a bit complicated. Then in 1971, the country switched to the new decimal system. That meant new coins had to be made, and among them was the brand new 2p coin. To make it clear to everyone that this was a new type of coin, the government printed "new pence" on it. These coins were made of bronze, about 26 mm wide, and had a design showing the badge of the Prince of Wales with 3 feathers and the motto "Ich Dien," meaning "I serve." On the front was the familiar portrait of Queen Elizabeth II. When these coins first came out, millions of them were made. In fact, more than 1.5 billion were produced in 1971 alone. That means nearly everyone in the country had one. Because so many were made, most people thought they would never be worth more than their face value. After all, how can something so common be rare or special? But over time, stories started to appear about certain 2p coins selling for huge amounts of money. People began checking their change, wondering if they might have one of those lucky coins. Now, here's where the truth comes in. Not all 1971 coins are valuable. In fact, most of them are still only worth 2p today, even over 50 years later. But that doesn't mean you should ignore them completely, because under special conditions, one of these coins could be worth hundreds or even thousands. How? It all depends on how rare, how perfect, or how unusual the coin is. Let's start with the common ones. The regular 1971 coins that you find in your change or an old drawer are very common. They were used for years and most are scratched, faded, or dark in color from age. These are the ones that usually sell for just a few pennies, maybe up to a few pounds if they're in nice condition. But then there are special versions called proof coins. These were made with extra care, usually for collectors, and have shiny mirror-like surfaces. If you have a proof 1971 coin that has never been used and still looks perfect, it could be worth quite a bit more. Some of these have been listed for hundreds or even thousands online. Another thing that can make a coin valuable is a minting mistake, also called an error coin. Sometimes, during production, the machines make small mistakes. Maybe the coin is struck on the wrong metal, or the design is off-center, or part of the writing is missing. These types of mistakes can make a coin extremely rare, and collectors love them. There's a famous example of a silver 2p coin that was struck on the wrong metal blank, and that one sold for over £1,000. So, if your 1971 coin looks odd, different color, unusual shine, double letters, or strange shapes, it might be an error coin worth checking. Another detail that often confuses people is the wording on the coin. From 1971 to 1981, all 2p coins had the words "new pence." Then, in 1982, the design changed, and the words became 2p. Because of that change, many people think that any coin that says "new pence" must be rare. But that's not true. For those first 10 years, new pence was completely normal, so millions of those coins exist. The truly rare one is the 1983 coin that accidentally still says "new pence" instead of 2p. That one is the real treasure. It has sold for thousands of pounds because only a few were ever made by mistake. So if your coin says 1971 new pence, it's part of the common group, but if you ever find a 1983 new pence, you might be holding a small fortune. Condition is another big factor. In coin collecting, condition means everything. A coin that looks brand new, shiny, and untouched is called uncirculated. These coins can be worth a lot more than the same coin that's been used for decades. If your 1971 2p looks almost perfect bright bronze color, no scratches, no marks, it could be worth a few pounds or even more to the right collector. On the other hand, if it's dull, dirty, or worn out, it'll probably only be worth its face value. So, if you have one, don't clean it roughly, that can actually lower its value. Just keep it safe and dry. Now, let's talk about why there's so much hype online about the 1971 2p. If you search on eBay or social media, you'll see people selling these coins for crazy prices, hundreds, even thousands of pounds. But most of those are just asking prices, not real sales. Anyone can list a coin for any price they want, but that doesn't mean someone will actually buy it. Many sellers use big numbers just to catch attention. The reality is, unless your coin is a rare proof, minting error, or perfect uncirculated piece, it's not likely to fetch those sky-high prices. Still, it's fun to imagine finding that one special coin that truly is worth a fortune. Think of it this way, the 1971 2p is like a piece of history. It marks the moment the UK changed its entire currency system. Every coin from that year tells a story of change and progress. So even if yours isn't worth thousands, it still holds sentimental and historical value. Some collectors enjoy owning the first year of any coin design, and the 1971 2p fits that perfectly. It was the very first year of decimal 2p coins. That fact alone makes it interesting to collectors who like complete sets. If you're curious about your own coin, here's what you can do. First, check the date, it should say 1971. Then, look at the wording, it should read, New Pence. Next, check the condition under good light. Does it still shine? Are the details sharp and clear? Finally, check if anything looks odd or unusual, like wrong color, doubled letters, or missing design parts. If something seems different, you might have a rare error coin. To be sure, you can show it to a coin dealer, a collector, or send a picture to an online coin forum where experts can give you an honest opinion. Even though most 1971 2p coins are worth only pennies, there's always that excitement of possibility. The idea that something so small and ordinary could be a hidden treasure keeps people searching. It's that same thrill that drives treasure hunters and collectors all over the world. Who knows? The next person to find a rare coin worth thousands could be you. So, next time you look through your old coins, don't just toss aside those brown 2p pieces. Hold them up, take a closer look, and remember the story they tell. You might be holding a small part of British history, or maybe, just maybe, a tiny fortune waiting to be discovered. And even if it's not worth thousands, the hunt, the mystery, and the hope make it worth every